Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how sometimes you see a picture and it kind of stops you in your tracks, right?
Mm.
Well, today we're diving deep into some pretty striking images that came out recently from Fox News.
Mm.
Yeah, they show ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement,
Hmm.
in the middle of these mass deportation efforts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're specifically going after MS-13 gang members and uh, and murder suspects. Pretty heavy stuff.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be really, really interesting to break this down with you, see what we can learn about what's going on here, what it means, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
Just from looking at these pictures, they're pretty intense, right? I mean, you see like the faces of the people being arrested, the ICE agents, doing their thing. It's a lot to take in.
Hmm.
What do you think about the impact these visuals have, especially when we're talking about something as charged and often like abstract as immigration?
Well, you're definitely right about the impact of those images. They have a way of cutting through all the noise and really bringing this issue to life. It's one thing to talk about statistics and policies, but to actually see the faces, the human beings caught up in this, it kind of forces you to confront the reality of it all, on a gut level.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, it's not just numbers and laws anymore. It's real people, real lives being affected, right? Makes you wonder about their stories, where they come from, what's going to happen to them.
Right, exactly. And I think it also highlights just how complex IC's job really is. I mean, they've got to enforce these immigration laws, but they also have to operate within legal limits, right?
Right.
And be sensitive to all these different communities. It's a tough balancing act for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of tough, let's talk about MS-13 for a second.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, their reputation is for violence is pretty scary.
Yeah, no doubt about it. MS-13, also known as Mara Salvatrucha, they're a really well organized and ruthless criminal organization. What's kind of interesting is they didn't actually start out as like this one big gang. You know what I mean? They came about back in the 80s with Salvadoran refugees in Los Angeles, but since then they've spread all over the U.S. and down into Central America too.
Wow, so they've really grown then.
Yeah.
So these arrests, I mean, if they're taking down all these MS-13 members, what kind of impact do you think that'll have on their operations, like uh, both right away and then maybe further down the line?
Well, it stands to reason that when you take out a lot of members, especially if some of them are higher up, it's going to disrupt things, at least for a while, right? And it
Hmm.
might make it harder for them to recruit new people too, if potential recruits see that it's getting riskier.
Like,
But the long-term effects, that's a little harder to say. MS-13, they've proven that they can bounce back, They've adapted to crackdowns before, and sometimes they even use them to their advantage to tighten their grip on things. So it's possible